I can't remember my stepfather growing up ever saying anything good about me. Ever. I remember I was playing soccer. Soccer was probably the best sport I really was naturally at growing up. But my stepdad said soccer's for girls, soccer's for sissies, things like that. Real men play football. I was like, okay. I stopped playing soccer. I tried my hand at football. I wasn't as good as football as I was in soccer. But I'm playing football to try to get the approval of my stepdad. So I play football, right? He goes to a game. He never went to any of my games, right? He shows up. I started playing football in 6th grade and played till my senior year of high school. He showed up. The first game he ever went to, I was in 9th. I was in 9th grade. Never went to anything 6th, 7th, or 8th grade. 9th grade, he comes to a game. We lose 17-14. It's a great game. The game's over. Now, I was I in 9th grade? What position was I? Was I tight end that year? I was defensive end, tight end, whatever I was. Anyways, doesn't matter. Anyways, I get done with the game. I'm thinking I'm going to go get in the car, and your stepdad or your dad or whoever, they're going to tell you what a great game you had or what a great game that was. It was a good game. I get in the truck, and my stepdad's like, hey, man, what the hell was you doing out there? He goes, you up there helping the guy up. And then he goes, man, when you block somebody, you block the ass in the ground. You don't let them up. That's the way he used to talk. And then he goes, what was you doing, like moonwalking? I sacked the quarterback, and I moonwalked back to the huddle. I was an entertainer, even back then. And then he goes, what was that dancing you was doing out there? The other parents in the stands, I was embarrassed to say I was your dad. I was like, well, you're not my dad. And then I was like, motherfucker, I know all the parents. They all know me. Gary's funny. Gary's gonna make this game loose. And so I went to that game, right? Did nothing but ride me the whole ride back to the trailer. I'm going, oh God. He doesn't go to a game again until my junior year, and it was a scrimmage game. And I'm sitting there, and when you're 11th grade, that's when you're like half varsity, half JV. I was that level of player. So first couple series, I ain't got in. The guys on my team tell my coach, yo, Gary's dad's here. It was my stepdad, but they all knew he was kind of an asshole. I would tell stories at lunch. They were legendary stories. And they were like, yo, Gary's dad's here. He don't come to nothing. And then I remember he was just sitting in the end zone. When he was sitting in the stands, he was like so I could see him clearly by himself. And then coach put me in. The damn football guys was looking out for me. They ran a reverse sweep. I hit the guy behind the line of scrimmage. He fumbled. We got the ball. Another time, I think I got a sack. It was everything lined up, right? I played just amazing 2 series of football. I'm like, there's no way. We beat the team. I'm sitting in my head and going, he can't say anything bad about me. He's got to give me a compliment now. And I'm literally going home after this game, riding back with a buddy of mine. In my brain, I'm just going, he's got to say something good now. He has to. I get back to the trailer, and I'll never forget. I went back to their room, and I see my mom, like, Mom, we won, and telling her. And then my stepdad goes, who was that team you was playing? And I was like, it was a team called Tri-County North. That was a high school. I said, Tri-County North? He goes, man, I don't think I've ever seen a high school football team as bad as them. That's the worst high school football team I've ever seen in my life. It's like they didn't have no plays. They had no athletes. And I'm sitting there listening to him after about 4 minutes, and I go, oh, my God. He figured it out. He figured out how not to give me a compliment. It was the other team was so bad. It wasn't that I was any good. I was like, and that's when I gave up. It was that point I go, I'm never going to get his approval. I just stopped looking for it after that day. I was like, wow, this guy's amazing. This guy's fucking amazing that he figured out a way not to give me a compliment. He was off, man. My stepdad was off his rocker. He was so mean and abusive. And now I just gotta laugh about it. The stories are so outrageous. It's like, how does anybody that arrest? So at one point, he never had a job, but he would get up early. So it was the worst getting up in the morning because I didn't know what was coming at me. I was about to get yelled out for something. I didn't do something right. So I remember when I would see him, I was like a hurt puppy. I would just cower and just try not to say anything, make any noises. You don't want to trigger him, right? So one night we're sitting there with my mom and he's going off. He's like, I'm so sick of Gary getting up in the morning ignoring me. He don't say nothing. I walk in the room, he just puts his head down. And I'm just going, okay. Then he looks at me and goes, hey, the first thing out of your mouth every morning is good morning. As soon as I walk in the room, you say good morning to me. That's the first thing out of your mouth. Okay. Go to bed that night. Next morning, I wake up. Eating cereal like I normally am. He came walking in. I'm ready. I'm ready to say good morning. He doesn't give me a chance. Immediately just starts going in. Like, what the fuck? The dishes in the sink. The garbage not out. This ain't right. It was like 10 different things wasn't right in the trailer. And he's just going to town on me, right? You got to do this, and this. I'm sick of your shit. Da-da-da-da. He takes a breath. I go, good morning. The motherfucker show. He goes, God damn it. He was like, you don't say good morning after I've already started talking. And I go, I'm lost. I'm fucking lost here. You just said the night before, the first thing out of my mouth every day needs to be good morning. You didn't say when I was supposed to say it. So I'm sitting here like, I'm so lost right now. I remember just going to school going, I'm so confused. But that's why being a comedian and being a stand-up has pretty much saved my life, because all that shit that he would do in the mornings or at night in the trailer, the craziness, I would go to school and my first audience was the lunchroom or in the morning. I had guys, and I'm not lying, I think about in 8th grade, I had a group of guys I ate lunch with that just, we sat down and they said, what'd your stepdad do? It was every day. Every day this dude did something nuts.